on a mission to Taylorsville edition. I'm here with Steve. Steve, how are you?
Excellent.
Man, let's talk about Taylorville. So, great city. You're from here originally, correct?
Absolutely.
Why'd you stay?
Well, actually, I was gone for 32 years.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah,
So
but
tell the audience.
But I came back
Yeah.
in 2006 after traveling out west and living in several different states.
Yeah, you were in some amazing industries between pools,
Swimming pools.
and cattle.
And cattle.
And dairy cattle specifically.
Dairy cattle in
Yeah.
a 95,000 acre commercial dairy farm, if you can imagine that. 23,000 milking cattle.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of cows.
And you came home.
I did.
Why?
You know, home is like your heartstrings pull for
Yeah.
home. That's what you have to have. You know, I mean, when you come back to where you were born and raised, and the familiarity, even though some of the buildings have changed, you know, and certainly the people have changed.
Right.
It's still where you grew up at. This is where your roots are at.
I have to tell people, like, it's your spidey sense. Things go off, and you just know what fits. Because somebody had a podcast, a friend of mine last weekend, and asked me, what's the success of being married for 33 years? One, your wife's always right. And then two, communications. And then you just know. Like I told my kids, if you know. And if you don't know, you need to move on and continue. So so it's been good for you. So for you in the community, we're here today. We're doing this nonprofit, fundraiser. Why is it important for the community to come together to help these organizations?
Well, that's what builds our community. I mean, our outreach throughout the community with the different organizations is such a giant part of what we are as a community. That's like our backbone, our spirit of the community. That's the true heart. That's the heart of Jesus. It's the heart of what we do as human beings while we have this moment on the planet. Yeah. And the things that you give back are really what makes you. That's what gives you your sense of integrity, the reason for living. All of the positive things that makes you feel good when you wake up in the morning.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny. I've told folks previously, what you give is what you get.
Yes.
And it comes back in spades, right? I mean,
It does.
Even in biblical, verses it talks about that giving spirit, and you are better off, though maybe not necessarily monetarily you're paid back, your soul is paid back through your good deeds, and that's huge.
It absolutely is. And your program that we've put on today, this has been such a giant part of it. We're sitting in Furlove, which is also a not-for-profit group, right? And so it all ties in together, the two combined. And, the spirit of what we give to our community is right here inside this building. Yeah. It truly is. It's got heart and soul when you walk in.
It's funny. So, Furlove, why did you start Furlove?
Furlove was started out of primarily out of a mission idea from my wife,
Okay.
Sherry, right?
Again, listen to your wife.
Yeah, exactly. And we both love our pets, and we're largely into them. We live on a little farmette out south of town. We're blessed for that. But so with her concept and her idea, we were talking to a couple of our close friends. Yeah. And they said, you know what? You should open a resale shop for the pets. Yeah. And donate the profit back to the pets. And then the next thing we know is somebody came up with another idea. Okay, let's call it Furlove, right? And then another friend of ours designed this really neat logo that we've got, right? Yeah. And so it all kind of blended into it. We had an older location that was small, but it went gangbusters. Yeah. And this is donated product.
This is awesome.
Which is the public's response to the mission.
It's amazing, right?
Yes.
It's almost, the public responding, and also almost maybe some divinity in there, because it happened for a reason.
It did.
And the community bringing it together, probably with a little bit of God on top of that, is huge. So it's funny, yesterday you said this is a historical shopping experience.
Correct.
So when I came here this afternoon, my wife and I are huge antiquers. We lived in Europe for over 6 years, and then we lived overseas, some other locations. And we lived across the United States, and we've done a lot of antiquing. But I came in here, I'm like, you are right. This is a historical experience when you shop, because I see things from my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my parents' age, and it's all the young customers in here. You can see their eyes open up, and it really neat. It's almost like they're walking through history in a museum, but you can buy it. So.
You can, and and the building itself was meant to be that way.
Yeah.
When we bought it, where you're sitting was built in 1892. I mean, below in the basement.
Most things built these days don't last that long.
there's tree trunks down the center of this thing for the supports.
Oh wow!
I'll take you down there in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So, you're sitting in history. And we try to recreate and try to pay attention to every detail in that recreation. And then along with the construction portion of it, we added historical elements throughout that you can actually take a look at, magazines and newspapers from 1933.
Wow.
And you see the war series, and you're going to see Stalin, and you're going to see Mussolini up on some, and Eisenhower and all the other folks, Kennedy, up on poster boards up throughout, which are from the newspapers from that era. John Glenn walking on the moon, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, you've got that, and you've got the downtown Taylorville pictures from 1916 here. You've got just so many different pieces of history here. It's a fun store to be in. We're blessed to have it, and we love having it here.
That's awesome. So Steve, how do folks find you, then how folks find Fur Love?
Fur Love has a very active Facebook following.
Facebook, okay,
yes,
great.
So Fur Love Charitable Resale Shop, Taylorville, Illinois, is how you can find us. That's where we post at several times per week.
Okay,
a lot of video clips in there, and you'll find us there.
Well, thanks for what you're doing for your community, and thanks for coming here to be interviewed. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it. You've been a great host, and I'm glad I got to meet you here on this
Well,
trip.
we're just blessed to have you and all of your crew in
sir.
our town, and we can't tell you how much it's meant to us to kind of lift us up to a new level.
It's huge, and thanks a lot. We look forward to telling your story, but also the story of Taylorville. So it's been my pleasure to be here, and I look forward to telling that story.
Thank you, Chris.
Hey, folks, you like what you heard, please follow us on Facebook. Also see me on LinkedIn. I love to have the conversation with you. Check out Taylorville. A lot of beautiful magic happening here on so many levels. What a sense of community here. Come to visit, come to shop, come to move down here and live and be part of a larger community. We would love to see you and talk to you. So we'll see you in our next segment, Live with Gratitude.